Hello everyone, welcome to Learn Psychology with Meghna. Here, we break down psychology in simple words, with real-life examples you can actually relate to.
What exactly is psychology? The word psychology comes from two Greek words, psyche, which means soul or mind, and logos, which means study. So literally, psychology means the study of the mind. But modern psychology goes a step further. It is defined as the scientific study of mind and behavior. Now here's something important. Psychology studies both internal processes like thoughts, feelings, and memories, external behaviors like actions, reactions, and habits. For example, if someone smiles, that's behavior. But what they feel inside happiness or sadness, that's the mental process. So psychology connects what we see with what we cannot see. And that's what makes it so powerful. Psychology didn't always look like it does today. Its meaning evolved over time through four major phases. First, psychology was the study of the soul, a very spiritual and philosophical concept used by ancient Greeks. Then it shifted to the mind, especially during philosophers like Descartes, who believed thinking defines existence. Next came the study of consciousness, focusing on awareness and experience. But this was difficult to measure scientifically. Finally, modern psychology focuses on behavior, because behavior can be observed and measured. Why did this change happen? Because science requires evidence. You cannot measure a soul, but you can measure reactions, actions, and responses. So psychology moved from something mystical and unobservable to something scientific and measurable. And even today, psychology balances both what we can observe and what we infer. Now, 1879 is considered the birth of modern psychology. Why? Because this is when Wilhelm Wundt established the first psychology laboratory in Leipzig, Germany. This was a turning point. Psychology moved from philosophy into science. Wundt introduced a method called introspection, where individuals analyzed their own thoughts and experiences. For example, if shown an object, participants would describe their feelings and sensations. This may sound simple, but it was revolutionary. It was the first attempt to study the mind scientifically. Also, psychology began using experiments, observations, data collection. This is why psychology today is considered a scientific discipline, not just philosophy. After psychology became a science, different schools of thought emerged. First is structuralism, which tried to break the mind into basic elements like a chemist breaking substances. It focused on what the mind is made of. Second is functionalism, which asked, what is the purpose of behavior? It focused on how behavior helps us survive and adapt. For example, fear helps us avoid danger that's functional. Then comes Gestalt psychology, which introduced a powerful idea. The whole is greater than the sum of its parts. This means our brain doesn't just see pieces, it organizes them into meaningful patterns. For example, you might see a triangle that doesn't actually exist. Your brain creates it. These schools shaped how we understand thinking, behavior, and perception today. Sigmund Freud introduced one of the most famous ideas in psychology, the iceberg model of the mind. According to Freud, only a small part of our mind is conscious what we are aware of. Just below that is the preconscious, which includes memories we can easily access. But the largest part is the unconscious mind, which contains hidden desires, fears, and past experiences. Freud believed that this unconscious mind strongly influences our behavior. For example, slips of the tongue. Dreams, sudden emotional reactions. All of these may come from unconscious thoughts. Even though some of Freud's ideas are debated today, his contribution was huge. He showed that we are not always aware of why we behave the way we do. Every thought, emotion, and action begins in the brain. Our brain is made up of billions of neurons, special cells, that communicate using electrical signals. Each neuron has dendrites receive signals. Cell-body axons send signals. Now here are three key rules. First, every behavior has a biological basis. Second, neuroplasticity. The brain can change and adapt. This means you can learn new skills and even rewire your brain. Third, the all or none law neurons either fire completely or not at all. This explains why repeated practice strengthens habits, because neural connections become stronger. So your identity habits and even personality are deeply connected to brain activity. Modern psychology doesn't rely on just one viewpoint, it uses multiple perspectives. These include behavioral, learning through rewards, cognitive, thinking and memory, biological, brain and genetics, humanistic, growth and potential, psychodynamic, unconscious mind. evolutionary, survival and adaptation. Socio-cultural, society and culture. Together, these form the biopsychosocial model. This means behavior is influenced by biology, psychology, social environment. For example, depression may be caused by brain chemistry, biological, negative thoughts, psychological, stressful environment, social. So to truly understand a person, we must look at the whole picture. Psychology is not just theory, it is applied in real life. Clinical psychologists diagnose and treat serious mental disorders like depression or schizophrenia. They work in hospitals and clinics. Counseling psychologists help people deal with everyday problems, stress, relationships, career confusion. Here's an important point. Psychologists cannot prescribe medication. That's done by psychiatrists, who are medical doctors. Psychology helps us improve mental health, build better relationships, handle stress, understand ourselves. In simple words, psychology helps us live better. Psychology is not just a subject, it's a mirror to your own mind. The more you understand it, the more you understand yourself.
Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next video. Your mind is your greatest power.